This is video 3 for week 2 of landscape bidding and contracts in the spring of 2017. So in this one we're just going to cover some key terms to know, key terms that we're going to be using in the bids, and also some resources in your textbook that are really super helpful, and we're going to use them a lot. Some of the key terms. Our author, Jim Houston, is completely in love with abbreviations. So you see a lot of those in the book. So, and also in bids, there are some measurement abbreviations that we're going to use and that you'll see over and over as far as measurements on site plans and materials, quantities. So, so let's get started here. One of the terms I mentioned, break-even point, and so you'll see that referred to in your text a lot of times as BEP. And so what that means is that you could work the rest of your life on break-even point and not lose money. It's just that all the salaries are being paid, all the work's being paid for, all the overhead is being covered, but no profit, no net profit is being added to invest back into the business. So that's break-even point. And break-even point is the number, it's the subtotal from which you calculate net profit. There's GPM, and for those of us who've been in irrigation design, that is not gallons per minute, it's gross profit margin. So your gross profit margin is actually the combination of your general and administrative overhead and the net profit margin. The gross profit margin is what separates companies. It's the difference in companies as far as on a bid, because besides general administrative overhead and net profit, everything else you have is a direct cost of the job, or a margin or a markup is dealing with tax and labor burden. So everyone will have pretty much the same material costs, permitting costs, direct costs for a job, but their overhead will be different and their net profit margin will be different. So this is really the difference between possibly, you know, one company's bid and another company's bid, is the gross profit margin, because it's much more individual to the company. It's not based on market forces. Well, it kind of is based on market forces, because you can only add so much net profit margin to your cost to blow yourself out of the market. So the bottom line on this is the higher your overhead, the lower your net profit will have to be to fall into an acceptable range of gross profit margin market-wise. So G&A overhead is general and administrative overhead. You're going to have a worksheet on that, and that is your lease rental, your small equipment, your copy paper, your electric bill, your subscriptions, your administrative help, radios, computers, any type of equipment that's like, if you have a truck that's not used in billable field time, just all the things that it takes to run a business that can't exactly be directly charged to a job. So they are charged to a job, but they're charged to a job as kind of a bulk rate of general and administrative overhead. NPM is net profit margin, and that's your profit free and clear above and beyond the break-even point. And then we got into some abbreviations having to do with materials. So in measurements, MH, excuse me, MH is a man hour, and that's 1 hour of a person working. So your labor quantity is going to be done in man hours. That's not telling you how many people are working at the same time, and in a lot of cases it doesn't matter. You know, you may have 5 people working 1 hour, possibly doing it similar to one person working 5 hours. Either way, it's 5 man hours. Where this does start to make a difference, where well, okay, if it's total man hours, like the job's going to take 200 man hours, is that one person working 200 hours, or do you have a whole lot of people working, you know, 10 people working 20 hours? is more job scheduling. Like, can you stretch it out and have one person take a long time, or is it a task that simply one person cannot do, and that you have to have a crew there? And having a crew obviously is much more efficient, but sometimes it's absolutely necessary that you have a minimum number of people on the job. And you might want to, for a job that takes a lot of hauling or takes a lot of travel, you might want to bulk up on the people to have more people working on the job at once, to then reduce those travel costs and reduce the cost of stretching it out, the day-to-day costs of getting there and getting mobilized. So that's man hour. That's a measurement of field labor. SF would be square foot. So we use those in measurements. I mean, that's a measurement of area. Sometimes the square footage measurement is used to